Today I want to show you how I count partners every hour of the day. So this is actually from last year's Christmas planner that I've done, and for me to have the ability to count hours, that was a breakthrough for me. And what I've done on the actual main page, I've done the drop down list. So that would be the partner number, and you can actually have the time zone, and you can see that will actually tell you how many people are working during this period. So I think that was pretty amazing. Here you see, just keep on changing, and it's actually throughout the entire period, which is very handy if you actually wanted to know your lunchtime, how many people are actually working between a certain period. So now if I ask you, can you think of an image of a very interesting mushroom? Do you have an image in your head? Yep, just now I showed you this one. Was this the image that you had in your head? Or could it be this one? I like this one a lot. And this one. This is horrible. This is pretty. Because I've shown you this picture first, you might have this image in your head first. Yeah, that is exactly what happened to me when it comes to looking at or thinking about spreadsheets. If I seen an image of a spreadsheet years ago, I would actually remember it. So many years ago I've seen a spreadsheet, and it actually calculates partner for every hour, but what it was doing, it actually have hidden about 800 formulas just to calculate that 60 partners. So because there were so many formulas for every day, it slowed down the computers, the spreadsheet so much that it takes about 10 minutes to load. And because I had that image in my head, so when the steering group asked me to count how many partners in an hour, I automatically say no, that is a very bad idea, because it will just completely slow down the computer. It's not a good idea at all. So in most spreadsheets that you will see, you will have a start time and a end time for the rotor. So to the spreadsheet, this is actually formatted as time. So if I actually put 10 AM and then enter, you will see this is time. But however, the way I actually do the rotor, this is text. To the spreadsheet, this is considered as text. However, our human eye can translate this into time. So the breakthrough came for me when I'm just going on my way home and just daydreaming, and I thought to myself, what if I can calculate every hour and then create some sort of like a rollover effect. So for example, I calculate how many people are in during the 10 AM to 11 AM. With that answer, I'll roll over and add it to my calculation for 11 o'clock. And from the 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, I'll roll that answer downwards to 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. That way I can actually eliminate a lot of duplication of calculation. So with that idea in my head, I thought, oh, let me give it a try. And so this is the actual spreadsheet that calculates the time that you saw earlier on. So this is like the actual engine of that spreadsheet. So this is the criteria which I've set for the calculation. Now remember, I'm actually counting text, not time. So because of that, it actually become even more simpler. So I'm actually counting how many times 07 and then the colon and then a bunch of text. This is a wildcard. How many times that occur, and I will add it to how many times somebody coming in at 6, how many people are coming in at 7. So I'll add. These are blanks because I actually wanted to reserve for later when I add more criteria on. And then what I will minus off. Yeah, so for example, if I'm counting 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., I would count how many people are coming in during this time and how many people are going out. But at the same time, because the way I've done it, I could actually calculate 9:55 as coming in at 10 to 11, because there's no point of me calling this as coming in at 9 o'clock, because clearly it's not. So that's why this spreadsheet here, the criteria looks very complicated. So for example, if we are actually closing like 10 or 11 o'clock, and there are some people who actually finish, for example, 8:10, there's no point of calling 8:10 as working within this, because they're only staying for 10 minutes. So that's why I actually have to minus this off, so it will give me a more realistic number. Yeah, so for example, the 5 minutes, I would actually round it up to the nearest hour, the next hour. But at the same time, on the next hour, I have to minus off, or vice versa. I mean, when I actually look at this, I get really confused. Yeah, and I also have got the criteria not to count the merchandisers, but then the merchandisers is in the middle of my counting, so I have to set it up so that I'll count them in and then I'll count them out, just to kind of make it 0 for a particular hour. So it sounds very complicated, but it is complicated actually. Yeah, I mean, at the back of my mind I know what I want to achieve, but at the front of my head I'm just a complete blur. But at the same time I managed to pull it off, so I'm actually pretty impressed myself, to be honest. Yep. So the actual formulas are actually set here. What I've just showed you were the criterias. And so if I click on one of them, you can see all the formulas here. But they are actually all the same formula, but each one actually encase the criteria which I've set. So a lot of them are just counting blanks, but I actually need the column to house what I have here. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was actually extremely pleased at how this have turned out. And if you actually see all this time here is actually reflected in the main. So literally I just done like a drop down menu, and all of these numbers here is reading from this sheet. Yeah, so that's how I done the partner counting. Thank you.